joined by Santaco President Jabulani Mthembu. Mr. Mthembu, good evening to you. So what sparked your interest in aviation?
Two things. I think the first thing is that it's about time that the majority of South Africans also have access to that space. That space has been reserved for specific people. Why so? Because it has been extremely difficult to access there. There is no transport. It's either you have to use a meter taxi or you have to use a shuttle service to go to the airport, even though there are low airfares that are there, but they are not accessible to the majority of South Africans. And we think, therefore, it's about time that ordinary South Africans as well begin to have quality time with their families, other than to spend all the time traveling and spending less time with their families. That is the first part.
Is there room, though, for another low-cost airline? We've had the launch of another one just recently.
What is different with this one of ours? It is targeting at a different market altogether. All that we're trying to do, as a result of traveling time, which is long, but also as a result of a number of accidents on the road, and therefore we deemed it fit, because we took this from a 2010 legacy. In 2010, what we were doing, we were supplying the stadium from the malls that were around. We were the one that were doing that. And we actually realized that if our people are given enough training, they're actually able to provide a better service. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to bring dignity to our own people so that at the end of the day, they begin to have that access. In terms of the space and availability, it's because the market that we are targeting, currently there is only 1 million market that flies per annum in South Africa. And yet we've got 49 million people. So obviously black South Africans form a small base, even if they are low cost, but they're not able to access that. Now that is why we try to make flying easy. All you do, you go to the rank, you buy your ticket there. You don't even have to buy through internet. There will be kiosk there. There will be terminals there where you are able to use your cash to buy your ticket. But another interesting thing, it's not like we normally know that they are low airfare, but when you go into log in there, you discover that those ones are sold out. The only one available is the one for 1,200. This will be a fixed price for that period. If it is 500, whether you're flying today, you're flying tomorrow, the price is not going to change. It's not going to inflate. It will remain the same until such time that there's an inflation of a price increase that will be taking place.
The airline industry is notoriously prohibitive in terms of the costs, in terms of gaining entry into that. How are you funding this?
You know, this is the most interesting thing with us. What we normally use, which has kept us in business for 50 years, without government subsidy. Someone should be asking, what's the magic word there? We are using that very same magic. We don't specialize much in doing a lot of feasibilities until we're not able even to do the business. As a taxi industry, when there's an establishment, what we do, we send the first taxi. If it comes full, we send another one. And we begin to service. That is why we are servicing 15 million people every day.
Well, the airline industry is far more regulated than that. So
of course.
I imagine you have to work to certain schedules as determined by the CAA.
Of course. Now that is why we then partnered with the people who are already in the game, so that at least in terms of all the necessary legislation that works into that. So our first part will be a leasing agreement kind of an operation, whereby we've done our numbers to see if this is, because the other thing, why we're using regional airports vis-a-vis the AXA ones, is because of the cost factor there as well. But why others can't use other airports? Because there's no transport available there. So for us, whether the airport is at the bush, we go to the bush and we make a bush a city because we've got that capacity to take people. Other airlines, they don't. They have to wait for other people to provide passengers to them, then for them to be able to take them into the destination. So that is why our model is different, because we'll be feeding ourselves, taking people wherever they need to be, because we've got that facility.
Let's look at the first routes that you'll be flying will be Joburg and Cape Town and Joburg and Bisho. Joburg and Cape Town is a very saturated route. So how are you going to make money there? Joburg, Bisho, that's a new line. Which other routes are you looking at?
For starters, what we want to do, in fact, we are not going to have a Johannesburg, Cape Town direct. Our route will via all the time. Because from Lanseria, you'll go to Bisho. Then from Bisho to Cape Town. Okay. Again, from Cape Town, back to Bisho. Because we understand, we know the numbers of commuters our own commuters that are using taxis, spending a lot of time in the distance. That is our target market. To say, instead of using this route, you'll cover more or less the same cost, but spend more quality time with your families, because we think it's about time. But not only in the airspace, even our own program that we've started, Hlokomela, we want to begin to bring dignity to the South Africans, because it has been said that this...
You'll effectively then be competing against yourselves in the taxi industry. What about taxi drivers who are not affiliated with Santaco? Don't you foresee any possible clashes with them once you start taking away their commuters, their road commuters?
Well, we don't have that problem, because if you, for the lack of better word, Santaco controls the majority of operations in South Africa. So this thing is an initiative of our own, whereby we are saying we can't be reacting to government's program all the time. There is a clear plan that people need to travel efficiently. There must be affordable transportation. There must be accessible transportation. So we're just creating accessibility and improve, because our members will still be the one that will be feeding our airlines in any way. Equally so, they'll be benefiting in those airlines themselves. So there is no money lost in the process, because in other value chain, that is where we'll be augmenting and balancing our income stream from there.
Finally, the big question on everyone's minds, South Africans, who will be piloting your aircraft? Not the drivers. Who will be the crew piloting your aircraft?
Today's been a very interesting day. You know, others have been asking, man, is the driver going to ask the man to come by the seats? Or is when the plane is taken off, will it come down and pick up a passenger that has been left? What is going to be happening in that particular space? But what's going to happen there? What our drivers and our guys at the ground crew will actually understand that they now form part of a bigger family. The only best way for our members to be able to understand and appreciate that, it will be through training. We've noted one thing. Our own drivers who are driving taxis, when they were driving BRT, they become better drivers. So it means there's no problem with the people. What would be critical for this thing to be a success is training. But as for the airlines in particular, no, that one, they are providing us aeroplane together with the crew inside. For starters, that is where we're going to start.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That was Jabulani Mthembu. He is the president of Santaco.